watching Bite Me with me, Nicole. And today we have a recipe which involves using another recipe of mine, which is the prawn chili fry, to make some delicious prawn samosas. Now, samosas in India are these lovely savory snack parcels which are normally covered in batter or a pastry of flour. But in this case, we're going to actually use Phyllo Pastry, which is much simpler to actually get in a supermarket than actually sitting and making a dough and all of that. So Phyllo Pastry is what we're going to use for our prawn samosas, and this is the filling that we're going to use, which was the prawn chili fry. Now the only difference is that we've added some peas to this. If you're making just the prawn chili fry, you wouldn't add the peas, but if you're making prawn samosas, you're definitely going to need the peas. So to start with, all I need is a pack of Phyllo Pastry, and I've laid down some butter paper on my counter. Then I've laid 2 layers of the Phyllo Pastry and just brushed them with some melted butter. And over here I have 100 grams of melted butter. So once this is done, I'm going to add my next layer of Phyllo Pastry. And this is quite important to show you all. Like when you're starting to work with your Phyllo Pastry, make sure you keep it covered with a nice moist cloth, because otherwise your pastry is going to get hard, dry out, and be very, very irritating to work with. Trust me, I've been there. Now when you use Phyllo Pastry for the first time, don't worry, you're going to break some. It's just normal, it's part and parcel of Phyllo Pastry. I've broken quite a few and it's fine. It just, they're so thin, they're like cloth, so they tear. Okay, so this is what Phyllo Pastry looks like. Let me try and get it to you all. Alright, this is how it comes, all rolled up neatly. And all I'm going to do now is, to my first 2 sheets which have been buttered, I'm going to add another 2 sheets. Here are my extra sheets, and I'm just going to lay them on to the first 2 sheets. Now I normally do just about 4 sheets for my samosas. And when you're laying them down, make sure the longer edge is pointed towards you, because that's how you're going to fold your samosas out. Alright, now I'm going to take some of my melted butter and just brush it. Now you can use olive oil if you want, but butter is just tastier. Make sure you have no dry spots, especially the edges, because that's what you're going to use to seal. You're going to need a pizza cutter or a knife. And what you're going to do is divide your Phyllo Pastry sheet into 4 equal parts. Okay? So you can measure the whole sheet and just divide them into 4 equal parts. So I'm just going to start in the middle, because that way that's easier for me to divide. So once you've divided into 4 parts, you're going to start folding your samosas. Okay? So make sure your filling is not hot. You don't want it to be hot, you just want it to be at room temperature. So to fill every samosa, I'm going to take about a heaped tablespoon of the prawn chili fry and place it in the right hand lower corner over here like this. So then you just fold the opposite corner over like so. I'm going to do the 4 and show you, so don't worry if you missed that. Once you've folded it over, make sure you seal the edge with some more butter. Okay? And then we're just going to follow the natural shape of the triangle that has formed. So over we go. Okay? Don't worry if your first one is not perfect. It's fine. There you go. The butter in between all the layers are going to keep it flaky and delicious, and ooh, when you bite in, the crunch, it's going to be quite magnificent. Also, if you want to make these in advance, you can, as long as you freeze them, and then you just cook them for about 2 to 5 minutes extra in the oven when you're going to cook them. And that's it. That's pretty much your first samosa done. If you do happen to have an excess amount of Phyllo Pastry on one side, over here when you turn it over, just get the pizza cutter and trim it off, and then you can just kind of stick it together with the butter. Just brush the outer edges on the top. And place this on a baking tray which has been lined with some baking paper. We're going to do the next one. So like I said, imagine a square here and just put it in the lower right corner. Okay. So a heaped tablespoon. Then you just pour it over like so. This is what I was talking about, the extra flap of phyllo pastry. All you're going to get is your pizza cutter and you are just going to go through. Okay? You can make a mini samosa out of this if you want, or you can just discard it. Now I'm just going to fill the rest. Now that my first batch of samosas are ready, and you could fit obviously a lot more on this tray if you wanted, as long as there's some space between them so they don't steam within the heat. And this way they're going to be nice and crispy and flaky when they come out. So I just buttered them and I'm going to put them in the oven now, and once they are all lovely and crispy and golden brown, they're done. It took about 12 minutes for my samosas to cook all the way and be nice and brown all over. And at about 8 minutes in, I went and flipped them over so that the bottom side could turn over and then the top side would brown as well. That sounded complex, but it really wasn't. Okay? So I'm just going to try them now. I let them cool, by the way, because I have burnt my mouth so many times on the samosas, it's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm just going to try and break this in half here. Woo. Can you hear that? Can you see that? That's the crunchiness. That's the flakiness. This is exactly why using phyllo pastry is so smart, because you get all these lovely layers and everything. I'm salivating, so I'm going to taste this. So much butter, first of all. Oh man, so good. If you serve this for a party with drinks, oh my god, you would be the hostess with the mostest. Or the host with the most? I think so. Works perfectly well. Like I said, prawn chili fries, delicious. In wonderful crunchy samosa phyllo pastry. Who wouldn't want to marry one of these if they could? This is what you want to aspire for, people. Perfect samosas. I hope you guys try this recipe. Like, share, subscribe, and definitely tell me what you think if you do try the recipe with the hashtag BiteMeWithNicole.